a chair which is for the first time in the world that Godrej has launched. Mr. Godrej's perspective on good specifically also made a lot of sense, and we have tried to ensure that whatever we do is on the path of good and green. So we now are going to be getting into a segment which is going to be very interesting. We have Mr. Joshi today, who is the Senior Vice President B2B Sales and Marketing, and I'm going to have a fireside chat with him. Okay, so please look forward for this session. You'll get to know a lot about this chair and how it was developed and what features and benefits it offers to our consumers. So first and foremost, welcome Samir. We are very excited to have your perspective on this groundbreaking product that we are about to launch today. So let's begin. Why is ergonomics in the workplace so important? Why should organizations and people who work for long hours be mindful of this?
So, good afternoon everyone. We did one study. In fact, today's workforce, 70% of the people were spending more than 8.5 hours sitting at their desk. And 56% of these people will work non-stop for in excess of 3 hours without taking a break. Human body is not designed to sit. We, thousands of years of evolution from apes, we came up from all fours into a erect standing posture. When you are sitting, it's a known scientific fact that the interdiscal pressure on your spine is 11 times higher compared to when you are standing. Long hours of sitting coupled with this extra stress pressure on the spine is resulting into a lot of musculoskeletal disorders. It's a risk factor. In fact, the study revealed that 76% of today's office goers reported some form of musculoskeletal disorders, either a neck pain or a back pain, shoulder pain, etc. These are very high numbers, in fact, really alarming. Although you enable the chairs with lots of flexibilities, there are a lot of adjustments are there in the chair, the findings show that people rarely use these adjustments. Almost 90% of the people are not aware of the adjustments at all. So, which compels people to sort of sit in awkward postures. Long sitting compared plus awkward postures is a huge factor, ergonomic risk factor. It is putting pressure on your spine and resulting in spinal injuries. Now, you take this risk factor in terms of long sitting and couple it with sedentary lifestyles, and we get a heady cocktail which doctor calls as a lifestyle disease. So, be a cardiovascular risk factors, type 2 diabetes, and so on and so forth. So, there is a huge risk to people at work because of long hours that they put in and with the incorrect postures which get adopted. Workspace ergonomics, therefore, is a very important area that one needs to investigate.
So thanks, Samir. Very interesting points. This brings me to the next question. Tell us about the research that you do at Godrej Interio around ergonomics and well-being.
We at Godrej Interio always believe that we can help today's workforce to stay healthy and therefore productive. A lot of work goes into identifying ergonomic risk factors, how that is impacting productivity, and therefore suggesting certain strategies which will help mitigate these risks. In fact, we came up with a paper, I remember, which is on visual ergonomics. Research showed that people are spending more than 6.5 hours per day in front of screen. My father calls it a screen generation. So either you are on a phone or you are in front of TV or you are in front of a laptop. There is enormous screen exposure. All of that is actually giving rise to eye strain, problems, cognitive disorders, inability to focus. So there are a whole host of issues which come up with this exposure. So that's one of the papers. Although ergonomics is a broader topic, if you have to really investigate people who are productive at work and what impacts their productivity, right from acoustics, the noise disturbances, to lighting, how is a workspace lit, all of this actually contributes to people's productivity at work. However, coming back to topic at hand, which is more to do with chairs and ergonomics, we published a paper which talks about what is the right chair for a right job, because different kinds of job require a different kind of support, back support. We came up with the action interaction matrix which helps people choose what is the kind of chair that one should go for depending on the specific job type. We came up with a paper which also talked about 11 mistakes which people make with respect to postures at work, because we went and observed almost 600 people as they were working, and what are the kind of mistakes which a lot of people are doing and what kind of ergonomic risk factors which are emerging out of those mistakes. A few years ago, because I gave you that fact that interdiscal pressure is 11 times higher when you are seated compared to standing, suddenly people started saying, can I stand and work? Because that is good for me, it will reduce the pressure on my spine. But our research showed that only standing and working is also not good for your spine. Case in point was the work that we did with the education segment. So when we spoke to the teachers, they are spending long hours standing and delivering lectures, and majority of them are reporting some form of knee or lower limb problems. So only standing and working is also not good, is what the paper suggested. The best way is to keep alternating posture. So stand up for some time, sit down for some time. Best posture actually is the next posture, which means don't allow the stresses to get built up in any one static posture. Some of these insights of the research that we do are actually helping us to innovate when it comes to products. So we came out with a product, and I told you that sitting for long hour in one static posture is not good for you, movement is good for you. Now you can move more, and study shows that people they are so engrossed with their work that they forget to take that break, they forget to get up and take that small walk which will relieve the pressure on the back. So can we do something about it? We came out with a chair which allows you to even move more even when you are seated, and that was one of the chairs that we launched, motion chair. We created an entire category for active sitting which gives flexibility to people when they are sitting in terms of relieving pressure from one set of muscles and relieving the stress, which is next best thing to standing up. So a lot of this research is actually helping us launch a product. We came up with sit stand desk, where we gave a flexibility to users to adjust the height of a desk based on his need. We are advising today's facility managers in terms of creating work settings which will enable people to adopt multiple postures by design. So you create a space where there are multiple choices given to people to work from, and creating that space is one of the remedies. So that was a keep moving paper. So to come back to your questions, all of these areas of ergonomic research is giving rise to new kinds of solutions and helping us understand our consumers better, thereby enabling them to stay healthy at the workspace.
So you touched upon the screen generation, that was very interesting. There are several jokes around that. And the second thing that you said about was the amount of research that happens. Actually, very few people know that there is so much of research that happens around a chair. A chair is a chair and you sit on it. But the amount of research that goes into it is very, very interesting indeed. So my following question is that, looking at it holistically, how do you apply this research to solutions outside our products?
So I think I touched one part of it, which is how the research is helping into product interventions. But we also realize that the office workforce needs to be educated in terms of ergonomic risk factors that they encounter while they are working. We have a team of professionals, senior consultants, ergonomists, doctors, occupational therapists. All of them actually go study the corporate workspaces. We believe in an approach which we call an ACP, which is understand a workspace, do ergonomic audit, understand the ergonomic quotient of a workspace, identify the risk factors which people will face when they are at work, and then suggest strategies to the organization for mitigating these risk factors. Some of those strategies may be corrective in nature, small changes around in the workspace. Some of them go a long way in terms of preventive measures. We propagate a framework which we call people process workspace framework, where workspace needs to support people and processes so that organization can deliver the result. And some of these long-term corrections when we done to the workspace can by design help people to be healthy and therefore productive at the workspace. So we do about 40 to 50 consultations in a year. We do specific consultations to individuals. Entire focus is can we bring the awareness up? Can we educate people? There are almost 3 million wellness mailers which go to various users of corporate India, giving them tips every Wednesday in terms of how do I stay healthy? What are those habits to be incorporated and things like that. So these are some of the interventions outside the product wellness services that we offer.
So tell me something, this chair is first time in the world? It's one of the first types in the world?
Yes. The chair is actually built on a deep understanding of ergonomic issues, but I can speak about it, but let's hear it from the chief designer of the chair.
I've got another question actually for you. So before you ask that, how did the idea of the breakthrough chair come about, and what is the core principle and need around which the chair is designed?
Let's hear it from the chief designer.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Most of the cutting-edge chairs in the office furniture industry were synchronous chairs. Most of these chairs exhibited some form of either short pull or short push or butt push or separation, and they were not the most comfortable chairs to sit on. And I intuitively recognized that separation was one of the major issues that needed to be resolved in a chair. But I had no idea how to go about solving this problem. So when I started going to all the different furniture fairs, I would sit on all the different types of chairs that were available, and you found that all the chairs did have separation. And when I talked to the manufacturers, they were not aware as to what the problem with separation was. So that's when I decided that I needed to look into this problem of separation as a design problem that I needed to solve. So what is separation? When you sit in the chair in the upright position, there is full contact between my back and the chair back. As you start to tilt the chair, a gap develops between the lower back and the chair back. This gap is called separation. A fair percentage of the population there shall develop back problems, and the majority of those problems are going to be in the lower back. I knew that solving the problem of separation would give far better back support, which would result in a far more comfortable chair. The first step was to have a look at all the best chairs that exhibited separation and try to figure out where each one went astray. If I had to change something in those chairs, would it remove or reduce separation, short pull, etc.? And that is when I realized that if I had to design a mechanism without separation, short pull, etc., I would have had to design it from scratch. After multiple false starts, I was able to zero down on a concept that showed some promise. And then many iterations later, I was able to come up with a very rough concept of a mechanism that was able to fulfill all my requirements. No short pull, no short push, no butt push, no separation, and full compensation for movements as you recline the chair. Since this was an original concept, it was patented in multiple countries.
Feedbacks are made because there is a very important segment coming up. It's very exciting, isn't it? So without further ado, can I call on stage our Chairman and Managing Director, Mr. Jamshyd Godrej, Executive Director, Mr. Anil Verma, and our Senior Vice President and Business Head, Mr. Swapneel Nagarkar, Godrej Interio.